to this happy place, welcome.
Hey guys, it's Tim, and I am with my beautiful wife, Adrienne.
Hi.
And this is episode 110.
101.
No, 109. Sorry, I got ahead of myself.
What are we? Where's this one?
109 of the Dreaming of Disney podcast.
Yeah.
And it's been a bit.
I'm bummed about this, honestly. Like, I definitely wanted our recap to be much sooner than it has been.
Yeah, for sure. It's we just, for a recap of our life, we bought a new house, and right before we left for Disney World, which was what, 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? 29th.
We left on the
28th of January. So it's been like 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh, it only was 3 weeks ago. I feel like we left like a month and a half ago.
And this was not planned. The trip was planned before the house. Mm-hmm. And the house closed while we were at Disney World. And we packed up most of our house before we left, came back, and then we moved to our new house within 4 days of coming back.
So we talked about, like, okay, we got back on a Tuesday evening. We're like, okay, maybe like, Wednesday. Yeah.
As far as recording it.
Recording. Yeah. No. And then we've seriously technically since before we left, because we were going nonstop there pretty much. We'll get into that. But yeah, we've been going nonstop.
Yeah.
Like nonstop.
Yeah.
And so it just didn't have
and then we were like, okay, we're gonna record. Today is Tuesday evening.
I think it was Sunday night.
Yeah, so but today is Tuesday evening. Mm-hmm. We were gonna record Sunday night. I'm like, okay, let's get the kids to bed and we'll record. I couldn't for the life of me find our podcast mics.
Yeah.
They are nowhere to be found.
Yeah, still can't find them.
So I had to come up with plan B. This is plan B.
Yeah.
And how we used to record, we used to record in the living room at the old house. Then we transitioned to our bedroom, which is also kind of our office. And now we're back in the new house. I'm sitting on the floor. You're sitting on the bed.
I'm gonna fall asleep.
And I can only see like your eyes and your forehead.
Yeah.
Right
well,
here.
and we don't have headphones, and that feels weird. We can't hear ourselves. Yeah. But anyways, that's all boring. This is a recap of our surprise trip to Disney World. Mm-hmm. So backing up to, gosh, I don't even know when you did this. Maybe October? And you came to me and were like, I found really good prices for the beach club. And that's a deluxe resort. Mm-hmm. And you found some really good prices at the end of January. And I was like, oh, yeah. And then you were like, I booked it. And we both kind of said, like, okay, we can cancel it, but you wanted to like lock in that price. Mm-hmm. And I really thought that there was a good chance we were going to cancel it because like we did not have an intention of going to Disney World this year.
No, like not at all.
I mean, once you and I went, which insane that was a year ago that you and I went.
I
know. We really wanted to take the kids again. So we wanted to. We were thinking maybe in the summer or the fall, like later in the year. So I guess we thought maybe, but it was not like a plan. Mm-hmm. And then we kind of just kept going with it. And then I was like, what if, because we all, we typically go to Disneyland in February. And like, what if, we tell the kids that, but we're actually going to Disney World. And we lived close to the airport. And I'm like, so, we could just drive to the airport and not say anything until they figure it out. Like, why are we here? And then we were only going to go for first you said 3 days. And I was like, nah, that's too hard. Like we need at least 4 days. And then, so you added the first night, we needed another night.
Yeah,
so you added
Well, I was looking at flights, because we got Beach Club first before we did anything else, because we were too far away to get flights. And so when it was time to start looking at flights, it was really expensive for a family of 6. And so I noticed, if we leave a day early, then it saves us a few $100. Yeah. And
go ahead.
So, but I couldn't extend our reservation at Beach Club because it was sold out. So I had to find another resort. So the cheapest and the one that was available for our size of family was All Star Sports. And so it was it'll just be one night. So I added that.
Yeah. Then we were trying to find a flight home. And it was so expensive.
Oh, yeah. Crazy expensive.
And if we pushed it out 2 days,
3 days.
Was...
No, 2 days.
2 days.
You're right. Yep.
It was way cheaper. And then... Again,
$1,200 cheaper.
And then
crazy cheaper.
Yeah. And then Beach Club, obviously that's a deluxe resort. They didn't have anything and they would have been pricier. So we're like, well, what if we switch again? We went to Art of Animation. And staying 2 more nights at Art of Animation. And then the plane tickets home 2 days later was still cheaper than if we would have flown home. On a Sunday. We flew home on Tuesday. Our original plan was to fly home Sunday, but staying 2 more days actually saved us money.
Yeah. So adding the extra day at the beginning, All-Star, plus the added, resorts, and the 2 days at the end, even with the 2 other hotel resorts added to the Beach Club, still ended up being cheaper than flying and staying at Beach Club for only 4 days.
Yeah, yeah. And yes, given that then we needed more food and stuff, maybe we broke even.
Yeah.
But still, it's like, okay, well, then we'll break even, but we get a few more days at Disney World.
Yeah.
And as we will get into it, it ended up working out nicely.
Yeah.
But so we told our son Boston, our 8-year-old, because he does not like surprises. He doesn't like, or he likes knowing what's coming. When we surprised them last May, we picked them up early from school and said we were going to Disneyland. He was mad. He was fine once we got there.
How dare you take me out of school early?
But he was really looking forward to that fun Friday. It was Fun Friday, and he was looking forward to it. And but we didn't tell the other. The other 3. I should have known because our son Noah is very similar in that way. He for rides, he always likes to know, if he goes on a new ride, what to expect. But I just thought it would be fun to surprise him. So
how dare you be a fun mom?
I know, right? So we left. Our flight was at 6. So we left a little in the morning. So we left a little after 4. And they were so excited because they love leaving for Disneyland early. And we don't typically leave that early anymore.
We're too old.
But we told them that we were. And so they're like, yes, they're so excited. I will say it also really helped. I can't do total surprise trips. While they're fun because you and I really enjoy surprising our kids, even though we rarely get the reaction we want. Packing now for 4 kids, older, teenage, it's just too hard. It's too hard. I've done it in the past several times, but now it's just too hard. So this was nice because I didn't have to hide packing. Like they thought, we were in Disneyland. So like I could prepare. There was a few times like the night before, because we were telling them like what to put in a backpack because we got independent study for them.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, you need to bring your backpack, put this in and put this. And you were like, and I kept almost saying, well, you'll need it on the plane. But I was like, oh, you'll need it in the car. But then we were going to grab some masks for the plane. And you, and I think Jack was like, why do we need, oh, sorry, I grabbed my mic. Why do we need masks? And you're like, well, for the plane. we're also taking a trip to New York in the spring. So then you were like, well, I mean, when we go to New York, I just, since we're moving, I want to know that we have masks.
Yeah, I almost spoiled it right there.
But yeah, it was still fun. So we drive, to the airport, and once we start turning into the airport, Jack was like, "Why are we turning in the airport?" And we're like, "Well, we said we were going to Disney." And they were like, initially they were both like, we're going to Disney World?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it only took a couple minutes. Well, and then Boston was like, I knew the whole time.
Yeah.
Georgia was a little upset just because any commotion, she's like, wait, what? But then Noah just starts crying because he had things this was a risk. We knew this was a risk. Things he wanted to do in Disneyland and had been looking forward to. And he just he's our emotional one. Or they're all emotional, but he just starts crying. Just like so upset.
He's so upset.
He especially had been talking about a Num Num cookie, Jack Num Num cookie. He wanted that so bad. And cried until we got on the plane. Like, I'm like, people are probably like, what did you do to that poor boy? Oh, we just surprised him with a trip to Disney World.
And he's upset.
He's really sad about it.
He wanted to go to Disneyland.
But yeah, so he was really upset. I'm like, all right.
But spoiler alert.
Oh, you're going to spoil it now?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, well, I
you get to do it?
Well, because it was my...
Okay, go ahead.
So the first day, I'll skip forward a bit. I was going to wait, but I'll skip forward a bit. Our first day was at Hollywood Studios. And we were over by Toy Story Land, and I just walked over to there's the Joffrey's and then a little market kiosk place where you can get some food, and because we needed, some snacks. And I walked over there to see what they had, and what do I see on the menu? Jack Num Num cookie. I did not know they had them at Disney World.
Yeah.
So I ran back to Noah, and I was like, guess what I found? And then he was like...
This was at 9 o'clock in the morning too.
Yeah. So he came and got one. And he said he was 100% excited after that. I mean, he shook it off and he was excited, but he still was a bit disappointed until then. And then he was good. But, when we went, you and I, it was the whole time we just kept thinking man, our first trip here just wasn't the best. And then our trip together was really good. And we're like, man, if we could bring the kids back, I feel like it could really change their opinion. And pretty much right away, they felt the difference from our first trip.
Yeah, they knew what to expect.
Yeah. But anyways, All-Star Sports.
Yeah. So,
sorry, excuse me.
Going back a few days.
What?
Before we left, Georgia got sick.
Ugh. Yes. So we flew out on Tuesday. This was Thursday before.
Yeah. Georgia got sick. Well, we find out even before this, the weekend before we go, Jack.
That's right.
He's in the cupboard, getting some cough drops out. This is Friday, the Friday before. And I'm like, buddy, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm just getting some cough drops. I'm like, why do you need cough drops? He's like, oh, my throat's been sore today. I'm like, are you sick? And he's like, yeah, I haven't been feeling good. But I didn't want to say anything. I was like, you little, I was like, go to your room. Do not talk or touch anything. But lo and behold, a week later, Georgia gets it.
Yeah.
And she's sick. And so we're stressing out, and she gets over it by, the time we go. For the most part.
She had a cough. And
that's right. She had a cough. I totally forgot about that.
Always lingers, and she just like pushes it out. So the entire plane ride, both plane rides, because, we're flying from California. So long day, and we had a layover. So both plane rides, I'm not even kidding. I am not exaggerating. Other than the half hour, 45 minutes that she fell asleep, every 5 to 10 seconds, she coughed. And then sometimes it would be like a coughing fit, and I'm like, everyone hates me. Like, everyone is freaking out. I got her like these lollipop cough drops for toddlers. They didn't really help. I am like, oh my gosh. So by the end of the day, by the time we were going to bed, and she had still been all day, I was like so overstimulated by the sound of her cough. It was like nails on a chalkboard. Yeah. And because it was so stressful the whole flight.
Oh, for sure.
Even she doesn't have a fever. She doesn't this is the tail end of it. She doesn't know how to kind of control it. She's just letting it go.
But other people don't know that.
People don't know that. And I'm just like, I feel so bad. And I was so stressed both flights. Like, I was just like, oh my gosh, please stop.
So we get to Orlando. We take Mears to All-Star. Everything's going great. We had no issues. We get to our hotel. Boston starts saying, my head hurts.
No. He was cold.
Oh, he was cold on the bus. He was cold.
And boy's never, this boy wears shorts in 40 degrees.
He's never cold.
And
I was like,
And then he said his head hurt.
And his head hurt. And we get to the hotel, and he's warm. And I'm like, darn it, little booger.
Little booger.
And so we get everybody. We got 2 rooms at All-Star just because it was so cheap. Mm-hmm. And that was nice.
Yeah.
That was nice because we all had their own space. But now we're stressing out. Okay, tomorrow is our first park day at Hollywood Studios, and Boston has a fever. No other symptoms. And so we're keeping an eye on him, pumped him full of Advil. And we went to bed to see how he would do in the morning.
And then, we got up. He woke up, but then he could not wake up.
He was so tired.
He got up and got dressed and then laid back down and fell asleep. And I was like, darn it. He can't do this. So then we ended up, I took the rest of the kids. We kind of just walked around. We were at All-Star Sports. We were in, what was it?
The surf's up,
building.
the surfing.
Our boys are super into football, so they wanted to go over to the football buildings. It was right next to us, so we walked over there. Super cute, in the middle. This is something that I just love. And now we have stayed at, a few more resorts, and something that I love about Walt Disney World as opposed to Disneyland is the resorts. You have your deluxe, you have your moderate, you have your value. But even the value ones, they're themed.
Yeah.
They have activities. All-Star Sports had a life-size chessboard in the middle of the football buildings. The grass, it looks like a football field, and they even had plays, painted on the grass. So the boys were running the plays and they have the pools are themed. It's just where if you stay at a hotel for that price in Anaheim, if you can even find one, it's a good neighbor way down. It's just
it's a Roach nothing. Motel, and it's iffy and questionable. It's you wouldn't want to stay there anyway.
So this is where I get the whole like Disney Worlders feeling like Disneyland doesn't have a bubble. Like, even though I feel like, sorry, I keep touching the mic. Even though I feel like there is, because that's what I grew up with, so I still feel the bubble. I definitely see the difference, and I wish that they could do that more, you know, in Disneyland. But anyways, so, and then we went to the arcade. Because we were just going to kind of hang out. I was thinking of taking them over. I think we were going to like ride the Skyliner and just like, we were going to like take the bus somewhere and do the Skyliner. But this again just helped because I wouldn't have been able to do that the first trip. Like, but I felt more confident this time being like, yeah, okay, I'll take the kids and we'll get on a bus and we'll go here and then we can ride the Skyliner like without you and without like a plan. I was like, let's just go explore. Like, and I felt more comfortable doing that. But yeah, so we were in the arcade for a while and then we were leaving to get on the bus and we were walking out to the bus when I heard my name, which I don't hear often because it's not a common name.
It was me.
And it was you. And Boston had slept for a while and then perked up and said, I'm ready.
Yeah. Yeah, he was, I just let him sleep in his bed and I was in the other room and he woke up. And he just like popped up and he ate a little bit. I gave him some Advil and he's like, okay, yeah, I'm ready to go. I was like, all right, let's go. And just wanted to be clear is what he wasn't throwing up.
No.
He wasn't snotty. It was just a fever. Yeah. If he, you know, had COVID or if he had the stomach flu, we would not be going to the park.
Right.
Do not, if your kid is throwing up, if they've tested positive for COVID or the flu or whatever, stay in your hotel room. We would have done the same. It's just, he just had a fever and it was manageable.
Yeah. But yeah, so we headed into Hollywood Studios and so we took the bus, not very long of a ride.
Yeah.
That was another nice thing. It's like the first time we stayed, when we went as a family, we stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge, which is really cool. Like, and we have animal lovers. Noah loves animals. We had a room where you could see like giraffes and zebras and like, it was really cool. But it's the farthest resort. Like it's very far from Magic Kingdom. And like, I wouldn't stay there an entire trip. I don't even think I'd stay there again. But I mean, if it's like you love animals, it's really nice. But like, yeah. Anyways, so we got into Hollywood Studios. We did. Oh, it was really because you guys just did Star Tours.
We did Star Tours first.
We just waited for you, but then we did Frozen Ever After, which is just a great show. Although. Now what are they called?
They're not like ambassadors. They're like,
are they ambassadors?
Historians.
Historians.
The Arendelle historians.
The Arendelle Royal historians that are telling you the story. They have funny lines. I am sorry. I doubt you listen to the podcast and you won't know the day we were there. The woman, she had funny lines.
Yeah.
But her delivery was so over the top. And there was like this odd Elvis impression voice that she was constantly doing. Oh my gosh, it was driving me nuts. I'm like, okay, what you're saying is funny, but why do you keep talking like that? Like, too much. Yeah. But they're, they're funny. They have jokes for
for the adults. Yeah.
And Georgia loved it. And that's another thing that I really enjoyed this time with Walt Disney World is more of the shows. I did quite a few of the shows with Georgia, and there's not as many in Disneyland, and that's something that we enjoyed this time around with her being a little older. But I mean, I don't think we need to do a play-by-play, right?
No, and we took it. We took it pretty slow. One, because we keep telling ourselves, let's do a chill Disney trip. And now with having a sick kid.
Right. Like we didn't rope drop.
We didn't rope drop. We took our time. We let him kind of dictate our speed. And he was going a little bit slower. He was tired.
Yeah.
And so we took our time on things. We didn't do everything that we wanted to do, but we still had a good time.
Here's another difference between, world and land is we noticed this when you and I went that like Disney World is a lot bigger, right? There's 4 different parks if you don't count the water parks. There's 4 different parks. There's not as much in each park. There's only like one more, like if you, all the 4 parks in Disney World together. So the Disney World Resort versus land, I think there's only one more ride. We looked it up once.
Yeah.
I think there's only one more ride in Disney World as opposed to Disneyland. So Disneyland is just packed. Jam-packed.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of people going to Disneyland Resort for a week.
Mm-mm.
Disney World, yes. So it's like Disney World, people stay longer. In each park, you have less rides. So I feel like it kind of lends itself to taking your time more in the day.
Yeah.
Also, it's busier, so wait times are longer. Where Disneyland, if you're only going for 2 or 3 days, like you gotta move if you want to get everything done.
Yeah.
And it feels more pressure because all the rides are in one park as opposed to, hey, we're gonna split these up into 4 parks or 2 parks in Disneyland. But so there really wasn't like, if you're just doing one park each day in Disney World, I don't feel like you have to rush. And I could be wrong. I'm not an expert. I've only been there 3 times, but like in what I've experienced, it's like if we go at our Disneyland speed, we're kind of like, oh, we did everything.
Yeah.
So you can take your time. But anyways, we did. I will say, we took Georgia on the alien swirling saucers.
Oh,
and
she loved that.
It. I rode that 3 times with her.
And I rode it once with her, so she went on 4 times.
You took her on it once?
Yeah, I went the first time we went. She went with me.
Oh, I just meant we rode it. Yeah,
we
that's
rode
right.
it 3
I sat
times.
with Boston, but like she rode it 3 times over the trip. She loved it. Okay, but just another like here's a not doing a play-by-play, but like points. We did a reel and a story, but Black Calf Cold Brew.
Oh yeah, I was looking through my pictures. I saw that we were in Galaxy's Edge. You did the video
Of what?
of the Black Calf.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we did Toy Story Land. We did Alien Swirling Saucers. We took some pictures because we had a Toy Story theme. Georgia was dressed as Woody. You and I had Ken and Barbie shirts. The boys had their favorite. We had a Forky, Slinky, and then Jack just had a Toy Story shirt. So I wanted to get a picture like in front of. I didn't do like theme days every day. I just did a couple, or really just one kind of. And so I just wanted to get a picture. But yeah, so then we just went over to Galaxy's Edge. I don't even remember.
Jack wanted to look at the. I think he wanted to go into some of the shops and stuff, and it's like we don't usually go just because we have it's the exact same in Disneyland, and it's like we rather
time
do
there in Disneyland.
Rather do something that we don't have,
but again, we didn't have we had because we got Genie Plus, so we had Toy Story Mania for later that evening.
Lightning Lane, we got Lightning Lane multi-pass.
Oh my gosh, that's right. I'm so sorry that I'm annoying.
That was awkward.
Oh, awkward. That's it. Not annoying, awkward. I'm sorry. I was so awkward. We got Lightning Lane multi-pass because that's not awkward to say. So we had Toy Story Mania for later that evening. We had Slinky Dog for later that evening. So there really wasn't much. You and I were going to do single rider for Rock and Roller Coaster because the boys didn't want to do it. No one really wanted to do Tower of Terror. So we didn't have that much to do.
No.
Also, we were checking into Beach Club that day.
Yep.
So, so we were going to leave and go back, to get I had a grocery order coming because we were going to pack lunches for the rest of the week. So we knew we were leaving. So we just weren't in a rush. So yeah, we just kind of wandered.
And we had Roundup Rodeo.
Yes.
Reservation.
We got reservations for Roundup Rodeo because you and I had that reservation with our trip.
Yep.
But then we just didn't feel like going. So we canceled it because I was like, that's kind of more of something I'd like to take the kids to. I know it'd be way more expensive with the kids, but because it's a flat rate, it's like family style. We'll get into that more in a bit. But you and I just didn't feel like going. But I wanted to take the kids to it because all of our boys went through huge Toy Story phases. Jack had a Toy Story themed room when he was a toddler, and he took Woody everywhere.
That's right.
Everywhere. So I really wanted to take them. But okay, Black Calf Cold Brew, not the same. Not the same.
No.
It was I wanted one, man, and it was bitter, almost like a sour taste.
I don't know if one, obviously the coffee that they use in Disneyland and Disney World is different because in Disney World they use Joffrey's. They don't use Joffrey's in Disneyland. I don't know what they use, but it's coffee is different. And then the cream cheese creamer that's used, the sweet cream cheese creamer, had kind of like a sour aftertaste to it. Was this like a bad batch or? But
no, after you said that you heard that it was different, I recalled, at the same time we were there, actually, if you follow Magical Little Babes on Instagram, she has a shop. She has some really cute things. And she was actually there at the same time as us. She's a Disneylander. But I remembered after we tried it, I was like, oh, I remember her when the last trip she took to Disney World, her wanting to get it and her saying it wasn't the same.
Yeah.
And just I didn't care for it. If you get it in Disney World and you don't care for it, don't rule it out for Disneyland because it's different and it's better.
It's smaller. It's smaller.
In Disneyland or Disney
Disney
World?
You get less because you use a different cup.
Yeah, I can kind of see that.
And I'm glad and it's in a different location. Disneyland is in Docking Bay.
Yeah.
7. It's in the popcorn shop in the marketplace in Galaxy's Edge. But I'm glad because we talked about, we should try the spiked version, the kind with alcohol.
Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't because it's more than double the price.
Yeah, it was not worth it.
And so, and I've heard people who've had it I don't even taste the alcohol in this.
Which you typically don't. And I don't know how, sorry, this is a tangent, but when people say that people get either buzzed or drunk in Epcot, how you must be spending a ton of
they're
money.
Drinking around the world. They stop in each country and get a drink.
I guess they stop at each country. That's a lot of because I'm they don't make the drinks strong in Disneyland or World
purposely.
The drinks that I have tried, the one that I tried when we went to what's it called in the Cantina.
In Oga's.
Oga's, thank you.
Oga's
when
Cantina.
we went for the last Splash Mountain.
Yeah, the fuzzy tauntaun.
The fuzzy tauntaun. It was good, but I could taste it a little more in that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, typically they're not strong. So, anyways, that's a tangent.
But yeah,
not there.
There's I've seen so many people on social media talk about Black Calf Cold Brew, and they're all Disney Worlders, and they're like, oh, I don't care for it. And then, which is to us in Disneyland, we were like, what? That's crazy because it's amazing.
So good.
And now it makes sense.
Yeah.
And when we posted that story and that reel, there was multiple people who said, I knew it. They were really? I never who looked at the comments. Had both. And they're like, yeah, we noticed that. It's so much smoother and sweeter in Disneyland than it is in Disney World.
Yeah. So Don't rule it out. But yeah, so we checked it. We rode the Skyliner, which is always so fun. The kids liked it. They had been on it before, but they didn't really remember. We barely went on it last time. Where the beach club is, right off of the Skyliner stop at Epcot. So we went back there. We didn't even go into the room, most of us. You just went, took our groceries in, and then, because we had our Lightning Lane and we had our reservation for
Toy Story Mania,
and we had our reservation for Roundup Rodeo. So, Roundup Rodeo.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I thought it was great. The food was super good.
Oh my gosh. And I'm not a huge barbecue person.
No.
But because it's barbecue and it's family style. So you either have the meat version or the vegetarian version pretty much. Well, first off, when you walk in, if you have little ones, they have the little toy horses on the stick, the head on the stick, so you can ride. The kids can ride a horsey to their table, which is so stinking cute. It's like you're a toy, so everything is bigger.
Yeah.
So it's like you're in Andy's backyard and you're a toy, or not his backyard. That's
his
the
room.
whole land, but
yeah.
And then there are times, so you can hear, over the speaker, sometimes they'll tell you that Andy is coming and everyone freezes. Obviously all the cast members freeze, but everyone plays along.
Yeah.
All of the guests play along, and then you'll hear Andy, and then he'll get louder, and then he gets quieter, and then they're okay, all clear. It's so fun. If you have a kid, or you, honestly, I would totally go there, just you and I.
Oh, for sure.
That love Toy Story. It's expensive. It was our splurge, but it was so fun.
Yeah.
And the food was really good.
It was really,
they had
really
these
good.
Cheddar biscuits.
Oh, those are really good.
Okay, so it's a buffet. They'll bring you, they just keep.
Well, it's not a buffet.
No, I'm sorry, not a buffet.
It's all you can eat.
All you can eat. Okay. We have always had little birds for children. Our children
Meaning
have
that they
never
don't eat that much.
been big eaters. Our 14-year-old is just becoming a big eater. Stick thin, but is starting to eat a ton. But
this one time
in the last, what have we noticed that his appetite has gone become very large in the last 6 months?
Year, 6 months, yeah.
But today he's not that hungry. None of the kids are hungry. Yeah. And this is not cheap. This place is not cheap. And Boston doesn't feel great. None of the kids are very hungry.
And we purposely didn't eat that much for lunch.
We just
had
little snacks. Because it was because we had actually made over the course of the trip 3 different reservations that opened up. But none of them were good times, but we made them just to get them, and then a good time opened up. But it was kind of an earlier dinner, right?
It was 5:20, 5:30, something around there.
Which is a little earlier for us. So we just had snacks. Yeah. So I took a bunch of those biscuits in my purse or my backpack. The macaroni, oh my gosh.
It was a baked macaroni and cheese.
The macaroni and cheese. Oh my gosh. It was so good. And the meat was all good too. I didn't have all of the different kinds of meats. You get chicken, you get ribs, you get
brisket,
you get sausage.
And then baked beans. You get the bread.
Oh, the bread.
Oh, the corn. The corn on the cob.
The corn on the cob. I took a bite of the corn on the cob before you. And I started, when I have good food, I dance. So I started dancing. And you're is that good? I was oh my gosh. It
was this sweet, buttery.
But kind of spicy.
Spicy corn.
Oh my gosh. It was so good. Oh my gosh. You and I are going back there.
Yeah. It's funny because I always bring them up because I listen to them.
You're obsessed.
Not dreaming. That's us. We're dreaming.
We're dreaming of Disney.
Disney World is awesome. So skip forward a week of our trip. Ben from Disney World is Awesome was there at the same time we were.
Yeah, we didn't get to meet up though.
We didn't get to meet up, but they did Ohana, is
is that a character?
It's a all you can eat. all you can eat dinner. They also do character breakfast. But they went for dinner. All you can is very similar family style.
Oh, okay.
Hawaiian, Polynesian style food.
Is it at the Polynesian?
Okay. And he talked about, because they were in a group of 10. So his family and their kids and cousins and stuff. And he talks about, we spend, $200-$300 on dinner on these kids, and all they eat is bread. And I was like,
yep.
I feel that.
I took those biscuits, man. But I love, oh my gosh, I keep hitting it. I'm sorry, I'm not used to this. I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was a splurge. They did not.
You got a, what did...
oh, that's right.
What did you get to drink?
The drink was okay.
It's like a...
It was basically like a spiked Yoo-hoo.
Yeah.
It was okay. I can't remember what it was called. It was. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had an alcoholic drink at Disney Park where this is amazing.
The fuzzy tauntaun was Frankie.
Hold on. We got a cat trying to get into a cupboard here. You're going to break something.
He's learning all the new cupboards and exploring.
Oh, he almost knocked over your Grand Floridian body scrub.
You will be homeless if you do that, cat. No, it wouldn't do anything. It's not glass.
Felt like it was glass.
I don't think it is. I forget what I was saying. Oh yeah, but the fuzzy tauntaun is pretty good. And then at Epcot in the American Pavilion, the
moonshine one.
The sour moonshine or whatever.
Raspberry sour, moonshine sour or whatever.
It's good. It's good. If you have to sour tart things.
Yeah.
It's sweet, but Tim, way too tart.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, oh my gosh, I can't with this. You're going to listen back to this and be so mad at me. So okay. I'm wearing a mic that is clipped to my shirt instead of our mic on our stand. And I keep hitting my chest and I'm hitting the mic and I apologize. But yeah, I think it's worth.
For sure. It's
totally
really good.
Worth
the
it,
food is really good.
Especially if you're a Toy Story fan. But the food was really good. And I'm not a barbecue person. I love biscuits, I love corn, and I love mac and cheese. Oh my gosh. And I have 3 kids. But especially
love mac and cheese.
Love mac and cheese just like me. Mac and cheese is my favorite food. And I ate it every night for dinner for 15 years, and I'm not exaggerating. Maybe not 15. That was an exaggeration, but I'm not even kidding. I was a latchkey kid, and I made myself macaroni and cheese every single night for dinner from 10 to 17. Okay, anyways. I love macaroni and cheese. It was so good. It was so...
I just felt so bad how much food we wasted.
I know, me too. Oh my gosh. I wanted to ask, can we have
and
some
apparently,
to go?
because I found out afterwards, they don't let you take the food to go.
Okay, I didn't think they did
because
I didn't see anybody else doing that. I never really see that in Disney Park, but I did feel bad. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to waste this food, but our little birdies here are not eating.
I know, and I tried to eat as much as I could. I felt
oh my gosh, I was
so stuffed afterwards.
I
was like, I'm gonna make this worth it.
Yeah, but if you and I ever go again, just us. But anyways, just so fun, that was pretty much it for. We did Slinky. Then we did Toy Story Mania. We had a lightning lane for that, and then Slinky Dog. Yeah, Georgia said she wanted to do Slinky Dog. She's tall enough.
That's right.
And we were like, okay, but then she decided not to. Yeah. And then once I went on it too, I was like, yeah, good thing.
But right at the end of the night,
that's right. You guys.
We were looking at the maps, and Jack's like, Rise is only 20 minutes.
And we were in Toy Story Land.
And we were at Toy Story Land, which we were pretty close, but that's on the other side of Galaxy's Edge. So we would have to walk all the way through Galaxy's Edge to get to the other side, to get to Rise. And I was like, that's risky, because once you see it, under, an hour, it's usually more than likely it's going to everybody's gonna see that when we want to go to it.
Yeah.
And it's gonna shoot up the price, the wait time.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, let's go. And so we booked it over there.
And I took Georgia on alien swirling saucers
Yeah,
again.
and I took the stroller so that way. No,
that was another time.
that was a different time. So I feel bad for Boston. But we got there. It still said 20 minutes, and it was 20 minutes exactly to the first room with Ray and BB-8. So, because when we got in line, it shot up to an hour.
Yeah, I saw that because I got on alien swirling saucers with Georgia, and I was like, oh no.
But I just have to say though that the version of Rise of Resistance in Disney World is in very rough shape compared to Disneyland. In Disneyland, they finally fixed the cannons.
Yeah.
So there's a scene within the ride where you're going in between these laser cannons. And when it first opened, those laser cannons, they shoot back and forth. So they move forward, and then when they shoot, they recoil back. And then your little cart, you're kind of dodging them. You're going back and forth. It's a really cool effect. I remember when we first read it, like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and you were bummed when my brother finally went on it and those weren't working.
Those weren't working, and because that was a really cool part. And they haven't worked since it opened in 2019. Or Rise opened after COVID.
No.
Or did it right?
Wait, no, you're right.
So it's been a good...
Wait, are you right?
I think because Galaxy's Edge opened in 2019.
Right before.
But Rise didn't open.
That's when you had to get a virtual queue to even go into the land.
Yeah, you had to get a boarding pass. They called it back then.
Yes.
So it's been since 2021.
It hasn't worked longer than it worked.
Yeah. So, and now it's finally working. And so I think it was the next day Disneyland finally fixed all that. And one of my coworkers, texted me an article about that. I was like, yeah, I wrote it last night, and it's that's not working at Disney World. And just pretty much all the animatronics on that ride weren't working.
Were they like not moving at all?
They weren't moving at all.
So like Kylo Ren and stuff?
So the ones with Kylo Ren were working. Those ones were working. But when you're in the room with the AT-ATs, the big walkers, there's a couple of animatronics of Finn. Yeah. And they're shooting out stormtroopers. And there's some stormtroopers who are like behind crates, and they're supposed to be like, you see their arms moving. None of that was working. They were all like hunched over and like kind of like their heads like cocked a little bit. But you still hear all the sounds. And so I was like, this kind of breaks the whole illusion. Yeah. So it was in pretty rough shape. But we got on it. And it was 20 minutes. So the boys were happy. They always loved Rise is one of their favorite rides. Yeah. So not anymore for a couple of them, but we'll talk about that another day.
But then, so then we were leaving, and when Georgia and I went just down, what is it called in Hollywood Studios? Like the first street there. Because it's not Sunset Boulevard. That's going down towards Tower.
Yeah. Is it just Main Street?
No, it's not Main Street. But the
I don't know.
street. I don't know what it's called. Tell me, guys. Comment on something. Leave a review.
The main thoroughfare of
is it Hollywood Boulevard?
Studios.
Maybe it's Hollywood Boulevard.
Maybe.
Anyways, so they do a show on the
Chinese theater.
Chinese theater. I was like, is it Grauman's Chinese theater? And like movies through the years. And they do a live action movie one and an animation one. And when we were leaving, it was the live action one. And it was really cool. Yeah. You were on your way back to meet me, and you were like, Boston's done. Like, he needs the stroller. And I was like, okay, I'll carry Georgia.
Yeah.
But her and I were waiting for you guys, so I got to watch some of it, and I was like, man, this looks really neat. Like, I love movies, so Like it was really cool. I'm sure the animation, we didn't get to see the animation one, but I'm sure that was really cool too.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we headed back and Beach Club, I really liked it.
Beach Club was really cool.
It's definitely a different feel than Grand Floridian.
Yeah.
It is a deluxe resort. It's right by Epcot. It's in walking distance of Epcot. The pool was down, which stunk because it looked like a really cool pool.
Yeah, it has a lazy river.
Oh my gosh, I love
and it has a sand bottom pool.
Yeah, so all that was closed, which sucked too because it was also really warm when we were there.
Mm-hmm.
There were some days that were like in the low 80s and humid. Like it got pretty warm. Not like unbearable. There were certain parts of the day, a couple of days where I was like, okay, I need to get inside somewhere. Like I'm not used to humidity and I also really don't like humidity.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like I can't breathe. Like my chest always feels real heavy. So there was a couple times over the trip where I was like, okay, this is a little like, this is rough, but not bad at all. Like, but yeah, like the location is great. We still didn't go down the boardwalk and check out the boardwalk.
Now Jelly Rolls is gone.
Oh, I know. I saw that post while we were there. I was like, oh no, Jelly Rolls. And we wanted to do it when you and I went and we just didn't. It was just, you can't do everything, you know? You just like, there's always things that have to give. And but anyways, but they have like outside, there's like the whole sand area, like a beach, and they have swings out there, like porch swings. And really, I liked it. I liked the like, it's more laid back than Grand Floridian.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not replacing the Grand Floridian for me, but with the kids, it was definitely more the vibe, if you will.
Yeah. More appropriate for them.
Yeah. But yeah, so then we did Animal Kingdom and not,
we're at 52 minutes.
I think we could cover Animal Kingdom real quick.
Okay.
Because it wasn't, because this was the day, this was kind of a rough day.
That's true. Yeah.
We wanted to rope drop Flight of Passage because before we left, we didn't cover any of this. This will have to be on like the end recap. So with Disney World, you can pre-book your Lightning Lane selections a week before your trip. We were like, okay, we'll either, because Flight of Passage is individual Lightning Lane.
Yeah.
It is not included in the...
It's Lightning Lane Single Pass.
Lightning Lane Single Pass. It is not included in the multi-pass. We were going back and forth. Do we want to just buy Flight of Passage and then do the other ones, standby line, or vice versa? We chose to do vice versa. I don't know, vice versa. We chose to purchase Lightning Lane multi-pass, and we were going to rope drop Flight of Passage. We did not know that we would be sick.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen.
Yeah.
We just couldn't. Bad. And Animal Kingdom opens early. So it didn't happen. And so by the time we got there, Flight of Passage was already over an hour, I think.
Yeah.
And we had like a Lightning Lane for Dinosaur, which my picture from Dinosaur is like my favorite because it was my honest reaction.
Yeah.
Like it was just, I had no idea when the picture was. It was my first time on that ride and my last because it's changing, and it's just my honest reaction.
It's a weird ride.
Huh?
It's a weird ride.
It's weird. I don't need to do it again. I'm good. But yeah, so long story short, we ended up not doing Flight of Passage.
I know.
And that was because that was the ride from our first trip that all of the boys were
like,
oh, it's amazing. That made Disney World worth it. and we didn't get it.
I know.
And they actually didn't seem too bummed about it though. They were bummed, but they weren't like, they were like, oh yeah, bummer. Baby ducks. We saw baby ducks. But The day before we were there was the first day that their baby tiger was out on an exhibit.
Oh,
so we
that's
got to
right,
see
yeah.
the baby tiger and the mama.
Baxo?
I don't remember the
I think it was
name, but
Basco.
he's ridiculously
Oh, he's so cute.
But it was so stinking crowded. There was a
Yeah.
line to get up and see him, and then people were just like pushing against me, and I was like, but so stinking cute. After that, we were heading to our safari. Oh, no, we did Expedition Everest.
That's right.
All the boys rode it. They all loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Boston went twice.
That's right.
Because we had Lightning Lane included Georgia.
Yeah.
But she's
too little, yeah.
Yeah, she's not going to go on it. And so Boston got to ride it twice. And yeah, so fun. The boys they loved it. They loved it. It was really fun. After that, on our way to safari, Boston did not feel good.
Yeah.
He was having some tummy issues. And so you ended up having to take him back to the hotel.
Yeah.
And then I took the kids on the safari, and then we came back to the hotel.
Yeah. We ended the day it was like 4 or 5 o'clock.
No, this was around lunch.
Oh, that's right.
And
right.
the safari was not as good as the first time. The first time we did it first thing in the morning. This time, I mean, like, it's still neat. Like, it's still, you get to see these cool animals. There was a giraffe pretty close to us. But, like, it was, like, I wasn't like, oh, no, Boston's missing this. Like, because we also, where we live, have a really nice zoo. So,
Yeah.
where we, like, feed giraffes regularly. So I'm like, yeah, it's fine. But anyway, so then we came back to the hotel and just, I can't even remember. We just chilled for a little bit. But then I took.
That's right.
Oh, we all got on the Skyliner to go back to Hollywood Studios.
That's right. Because
we were
went to
go back in. I wanted to do the Beauty and the
first,
Beast.
before this, we went to the arcade because Boston was feeling better. So we went to the arcade, we were walking around, and we went to the soda shop. We got ice cream.
The Beaches and Cream at the
Beach Club.
Got ice cream.
And we
Decision.
brain fart parents. We were sleep deprived and jet lagged.
Like, this is our first
Also, moving to a new house and dealing with house stuff while on vacation. Decided to get our sick kid ice cream when he hadn't eaten anything that day, hardly anything. And so we're on the Skyliner to Hollywood Studios in the evening, and he starts talking about, like, my stomach hurts really bad.
He didn't say that. At first, he was like, we were coming down off the Skyliner, and he was like, kind of like hitting at his stomach. And I'm like, you okay, bud? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm like, okay. As we're getting off the Skyliner, he just starts like, he's doubled over.
Yeah.
His stomach hurts so bad. Like, we're not even in the park.
And this kid's never really had a stomach ache before, which is the weirdest thing.
He's almost 9 years old. He's never thrown up.
Yeah.
And
so he doesn't know what this feeling is.
Like, are you nauseous? He's like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Like,
and so I'm like,
so weird.
And so I was like, I'm going to take him back. Like, we just got to Hollywood Studios. I was like, I'm going to take him back. And I'm worried that he's going to throw up.
Yeah. We didn't even get into the park. Like, we were at the security line.
Yeah.
But I had told Georgia that we could go see the Beauty and the Beast show, and she was wearing her bell dress, and she loved the Frozen show, so she was so excited. So I took her and the other two boys, and they went on Star Tours again because it was a short wait, and then we had and then we got in time for the Beauty and the Beast show, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a huge theater. This is another thing that we just don't have. It's like Disneyland, they have to make the space that they have work.
Yeah.
So it's like a dedicated amphitheater to kind of like the one by Small World in Disneyland. It's like that size.
Yeah.
But it's, it's like a Broadway little version. And like they're really singing, and she loved it. She loved it. It was so cute. Look at her. She's so happy. She's wearing her little bell dress. And then I think then, she really wanted to do swirling saucers again. So we did. The boys wanted to buy something. They had found what they wanted in Galaxy's Edge, and we weren't going back to Hollywood Studios. So I was like, okay, we can walk over there. They got what they wanted, and then I was like, okay, our alien swirling saucers was only like 20 minutes or something. Or maybe it was 30. And so we did that, and then we went back to the room. Boston was feeling a little better. Oh, my good night.
What?
Well, there was the like night terror he had one night.
Oh, yeah.
It was after the first night, I think. Or not the first night. It was the second night.
Second night,
He had fallen asleep. We had to wake him up because we're like, oh, he hasn't gone to the bathroom since like lunch. We should make him go to the bathroom before he gets like too asleep.
Before all of this, so you were at Hollywood Studios, and his stomach ache had passed. He was starting to get hungry. And I was like, okay, if he says he's hungry.
No, this was the night before. His night terror thing was the night before.
Oh, it was the night before that?
Yeah.
Was it the first night at Beach Club? Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
But, anyways, we like woke him up, and he didn't know where he was. He thought he was still on the plane, but like it was crashing, and he was like terrified and like begging me for help, looking at me. We're like, buddy, where are you? And we were like, you're in the hotel. We're not on the plane. And he was like, hell, why is it so loud in here? And like he was like full on having like a nightmare, but it was scary. It was
super
like
scary.
Yeah.
So while you were at Hollywood Studios, and and I was back at the hotel with him, he said he was hungry, and I was like, okay, what would you like? And I wasn't crazy about the quick service at Beach Club. It was like sandwiches and stuff, and I'm not a huge sandwich deli person, and neither is he. He really wanted chicken strips. He's like, chicken strips sound really good. I'm like, okay, where's the nearest chicken strips? So I look, and the nearest place that has chicken strips is at the Regal Eagle in Epcot in the American Pavilion. I'm like, okay. But that also meant I knew that he was not.
No, he couldn't do it.
He couldn't walk that way. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay. And he really wanted that. So we had one of our other kids' iPads there. I was like, okay, we're gonna get on FaceTime. Our fat cat just tried to jump up on the couch. I couldn't do it.
On the bed.
On the bed. He couldn't do it. He was hanging, his fat feet were hanging down. He couldn't get up. Now he's trying to leave the room in shame.
Oh, he's so bad.
So I put him on FaceTime, and I FaceTimed him the entire way to Regal Eagle to get him some chicken strips.
Yeah, because like, what were you gonna do if something happened while you were on FaceTime?
I know, but he was hungry, and I was hungry too, and so I booked it. It took me round trip like 30 minutes, but I was like full on power walking the entire way.
Yeah,
and because it was busy that day too, so I was like dodging people and everything, but yeah, that was experience.
Yeah.
So that was our first.
There you go, big guy.
First 2 days at Disney World. Pretty eventful, crazy, a little stressful.
But like also so much better.
Oh, it's still better than our first trip.
Our first trip, our first day was Magic Kingdom, and it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. And anyway, we don't need to recap that. That was like our first podcast episode. Well, it wasn't, but I think it was our second podcast episode, maybe our third. Yeah, it was just terrible. And this, even though sickness and stuff was already so much better, and like we were still having a good time.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, next week we'll get into our Magic Kingdom day.
Was the next day? No, next day was it Magic
next
Kingdom?
Next day was Magic Kingdom. Then we did a break day.
Okay.
Then we did Epcot.
That's right. Epcot was after Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know we've been kind of hit or miss, and as far as the podcast goes, and we started doing every other week. As far as we're doing this recap, we're gonna aim for weekly, so that way we can bust these out. So
yeah, that's our aim. But again, we're still settling in.
Yeah.
And then what's today? Tuesday.
Today's Tuesday.
Okay, so maybe we'll get back on our regular schedule. And we usually record Sunday evenings, so
maybe we'll find our mics by then. Who knows?
One can only hope.
Yep. But I was posting like crazy on Instagram and TikTok. I was posting.
I tell you guys,
2 to 3 times a day.
Inspired when we're there, and then
and our TikTok has blown up. We're like almost at 800 followers on TikTok.
Gosh. You guys are still waiting on that Instagram to give that giveaway.
I know.
We're at let's see, 933.
All right. But we've gained like 300-400 followers since our Disneyland trip, and our Disney World trip, I should say. And I was posting every day that we were there, just small stuff. I haven't posted since. Because we came home, it was all the house stuff, and I've been distracted with that and work and everything. And but I'll get back on it. I got some more stuff. Why are you looking all disgusted?
I can't say on the podcast.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about it later. But follow us on Instagram at dreaming.of.disney.podcast. And you can find us on TikTok at the same, Dreaming of Disney Podcast on TikTok. And leave us a review. It always helps us. We appreciate it. And until next time, we'll talk to you later.